Hello everyone. I'm doing a podcast today about how to change your relationship with the scales. This is for Eating Disorders Awareness Week. So, weighing yourself and body checking routinely and obsessively are often something sufferers of eating disorders struggle immensely to stop. The feeling of being in control that the eating disorder gives you is one of the hardest things for sufferers to let go of. Feeling able to control your food and weight can give you a sense of power and control that you may feel that you were lacking before you developed the eating disorder. The control that you feel you get from listening to the eating disorder is not real. The eating disorder is in the driving seat. The real you gets pushed to the side, and by the time you realise that you are not the one that is really in control, the routines and the thoughts are so ingrained that changing them is tough. Feeling that you must weigh yourself multiple times a day, obsessively body checking and measuring yourself are all behaviours that the eating disorder pushes you to do, so that you remain obsessed with the size and weight of your body and continue to feel your body getting bigger. These behaviours become compulsive and addictive very quickly, and the more you do it, the stronger the thoughts get and the harder it is to break the cycle. I used to struggle with obsessive body checking and weighing myself multiple times a day. I would measure parts of my body constantly, and if I felt that they had changed in any way, then I would become distressed and feel out of control and scared. For me, this was an extremely hard habit to break. I managed to reduce it over time, but I only completely cut it out about 2 years ago. As hard as it was for me to break this habit, I am so glad that I did. I was giving so much power over to the scales and the measurements and basing my happiness and worth on them. I know now that my worth is not based on how much I weigh or how big my thighs are. I am inherently worthy, and this does not change based on how much I weigh or how much food I consume. Scales only show a number. It is the emotions we attach to that number that are the problem. We feel that if the scale increases, this means that we are fat, greedy and out of control, and therefore need to restrict to stop this from happening. And if the scale goes down, we feel euphoric, in control and powerful. The reality is that neither of these changes change how worthy we are and how much we deserve to eat, food and rest. I know that these habits and thought processes are difficult to change, and it certainly does not happen overnight. It's about retraining your brain and rediscovering other aspects of your life that you enjoy and that you feel give you purpose. The eating disorder wants to be your one and only priority. It isolates you so that you do not discover how fun life can really be. It holds you back from new experiences and fulfilling your dreams, as it knows that the more you enjoy life and create space for new positive things, the less space the eating disorder will be able to take up. I've written some coping strategies I use to reduce and eventually stop body checking, measuring and weighing myself. If you weigh yourself after eating, the chances are the result will show as heavier than you really are. This is because you have just consumed food and probably liquid, which will mean that your weight temporarily appears bigger. The next morning that weight will more than likely have shifted. Weighing yourself after eating can cause you distress, as the number you see on the scales will be higher than if you weigh yourself in the morning, and you may think that you've put on fat and then restrict, when the reality is it's just food and the digestion process that causes this temporary gain. I used to keep repeating this to myself to stop myself from weighing after food, as I knew that seeing the number would upset me and make it harder for me to refrain from restricting. So I would try to distract myself by listening to music, reading, talking to friends, anything to take my mind off the thought of stepping on the scales. Remind yourself that scales can only give you a number. They cannot tell you how kind you are, how intelligent you are, how important you are, and how loved you are. Scales are not able to measure any of the things that really matter and that make you who you are. I know it can be hard to resist weighing yourself, but what you are seeking from doing so will never be achieved. Whatever the number is, you will always strive to be lower, because what you are seeking is to feel valuable and in control, and these things will never come from seeing the number on the scales. Obsessively checking and measuring your body by using your hands or tape measures is also very toxic and destructive, and will also never give you what you are searching for. I used to do these behaviours multiple times a day, and not once did they bring me true happiness. They made me more depressed and obsessive and drove me further into the eating disorder. I stopped this behaviour gradually, as I'd been doing it for so many years. I would sometimes do it without even realising what I was doing. Eventually, I realised that I wanted to body check more often when I was feeling stressed or anxious, as I was desperate to feel more in control and reassured. Once I discovered this link, it became a bit easier for me to try and discover other ways that would give me what I craved, such as talking to those I trusted about how I was feeling and learning how to control other aspects of my life, like restarting my education, taking driving lessons, travel, and all the things that I really wanted to do and could control. The more I did those things, the more I felt in control of my life, and the more I achieved, the more reassured I felt. If you feel unable to stop weighing yourself and measuring currently, as this is too much of a big step, you can start by trying to lessen the amount you weigh yourself and try to reduce the importance that you put onto the number. Be firm with yourself and do not allow the eating disorder to push you to restrict if the number changes. Try and view the number as what it is, just a number, not a reflection of your worth. The more that you remind yourself of these things, the less you will feel compelled to weigh yourself, as you will realise that it's not bringing anything positive to your life and only causing anxiety and stress. some questions that I've written that you could ask yourself and try and write down the answers to try and discover why you weigh yourself and what you could do to change it. Do any of you currently or have weighed or measured yourself multiple times a day? What sorts of thoughts and feelings would trigger you to want to body check? How do you feel after you've done these behaviours? And what coping strategies have you used to reduce these behaviours in the past?